82 live birthday celebration on December 18th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you guys are there. Remember, the theme is grown and sexy, or you can just come naked. We're going to have special guests. It's going to be a countdown show. We're going to count down our favorite moments from the show. Also, don't forget, bring a drink, bring your weed, whatever you want to. We're going to have a good time. We're going to play Never Have I Ever. It's going to be so much fun. Thank you guys for joining me for my birthday, December 18th. Be there or be square. Let's get real, y'all. What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2 bringing you another episode of TTRD, Talk the Real Deal with AT2, bringing you another live show today. I'm so excited about this show because we are going to talk about something I have no idea and no clue about. It's all about marriage. Today we're going to answer a question: why don't relationships last like our grandparents' relationships? We're going to answer that question. But before I go ahead and get to our topic, I wanted to bring on a special guest. Y'all already know who she is. The Queen, Tiff. 1/4 of Down for the Count. Tiff, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, everybody. You know my name already. I'm Tiff. I'm on Instagram at Psych Design TV 2. And I don't really got nothing else to say, so we can just jump right into it. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yes. Let's go ahead and get into it. And I want to say thank you for bringing up this topic. This is a very good one. I'm going to go ahead and put the question up here. Shout out to the Shade Room, even though they ain't paying me for promo. But shout out to them. Tip, you want to go ahead and read the question?
Why aren't marriages lasting like our grandparents' generation? Open discussion. Talk to me. That is a very interesting question. I have a few theories on it.
Okay, what do you want to say about it?
Well, I got married very young. I was 21 when I got married. So I've been married pretty much my entire adult life. That's a learning curve to be married. I don't think people really understand what happens when you get married. I think people see all of the videos on social media with the big old parties and they see the nice little viral dances and everything. They don't understand that that ends. That's over. That's one night. And then you got to live with this person, presumably for the rest of your life. Not always. But yeah, like you are setting out to stay with them for an extended period of time. And I think that people don't really take the time to get to know each other anymore. So our forefathers and the people who came before us had a different way of doing things. There was a certain dynamic that was set in place that most people followed, irregardless of class, demographic, or whatever. If you were the wife, you were at home taking care of the kids. You cooked, you cleaned, and the man worked. If he was out of work and the wife had a job, the dynamic didn't change. It just meant that the husband was out of work and she would still come home, cook, and clean. There was a certain set of rules in place. It's 2020 and those rules have changed drastically. So marriages are not lasting as long as they should, number one, because most people have drifted away from the concept of marriage. They think that it's archaic. They think that it is a money construct. Like it's something they use to continue to perpetuate the idea that we have to continue to procreate so we can populate. And then it's a situation of if you continue to make people, then you spend more money. So we encourage marriage as a beautiful thing.
Do you feel that now we have an option to say whether or not we want to be married, as before it just felt like it was a part of life and just something that you just did?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's normalized now for you not to be married. It's normalized now for you not to be married, but I find it to be so odd. I don't know I don't know about y'all, and I can't speak for Dre, but I know for sure. For me, I don't think I could be with a man for 15 years and not be married.
I actually know someone I used to work with that was with her dude for like 10 years and they barely just got married. And I thought it was the craziest thing because I'm all like, why haven't you guys got married? But
Um,
it was a thing where he didn't want to really get married. He just said, oh, it's
Usually
just
the case. We don't
yeah.
need a ring. We don't need a paper to define our relationship. You don't need that because we know what our relationship is. That's usually the line that is given. But that's a bunch of bullshit. That's a bunch of bullshit. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm sure people in the comments are gonna be like, oh well, Tiffany, you're a little bit too traditional, but no. Like if you can lay in my house and be with me for 10 and 15 years, being married shouldn't change that.
Right. I think when you guys are living together and all that stuff, I do think there should be some kind of agreement, and that agreement is marriage. Now, I feel like if you don't want to get married, then don't be in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand non-traditionalists to a certain extent. I respect the difference. Like you feel like when you people say I feel like marriage is a construct for the government to keep us to making kids and to procreate and all that. Not
Mm,
everybody who gets married wants to have a bunch of kids. So that's not always the case, but that's where it's supposed to go. It starts out, at least that's the way traditionally it was, where you find someone, you're in love, you get married, then you have kids. 90% of the time, most people are having kids before they even think about getting married. So
right.
that whole concept has been thrown out of the window.
Sometimes marriage is a business transaction. You know what I mean? Sometimes it
Oh
is.
God.
Um,
Yes. It, and that's just disrespectful. I just find that to be so disrespectful. It's just like, I had to work, and try to make relation because you have to still understand you're still with a person. You're not like you're not in a relationship with just some random doll. This is a human being. They have feelings. They will react and act. So there's a certain level of work you do have to do to be with them. And you have to learn how to understand them and learn how to roll with the punches. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that you could just roll up and go get married to somebody and then you get to live in a nice house and you got all the money and your hair done every day, your clothes nice, and I got to struggle. I get love and struggle, and you get luxury. That ain't right.
well,
That's
I was gonna save this for the end of the show, but let's go ahead and get into it because I feel like when I mentioned the business transaction, I just thought about our topic today. Mary Cosby, she's from the
oh
Real
God.
Housewives of Salt Lake City. Now, I haven't watched the show. All I did was research the actual clip of her explaining her relationship. But she married her step grandfather. It's not her blood grandfather, but her step grandfather to secure the bag. That's the popular culture. You do stuff to secure the bag. So what she did was marry her grandfather, and what happened was that her grandmother passed away. Her grandmother didn't want to lose her legacy to somebody else, so Mary took it upon herself to marry her step grandfather so they could keep the church and keep everything, keep the money. She has an extreme, how do you say that word? Estranged relationship with her mom because her mom felt like she took that away from her, and now Mary is married to her step grandfather. So my question for you, would you do something this extreme and this crazy just to secure the bag and keep money flowing in your family?
Child.
I set Tiff up all the time.
Child, that's a mess. That is such a mess. First of all, you disrespectful. Just you way out of pocket, bro. First of
And
all,
he's a
let's
reverend
just
too.
start with Miss Mary. Miss Mary face changed. I don't know who that white
Yo,
woman was that you put on the
yes,
screen, but that's
yes.
not the same woman that married that man before. That is a
I'm not even curious about how she married her step grandfather. I just want to know, why is this a black woman and then this is a white woman?
thank you. That's a whole white woman. You done okay, girl. Okay, Miss Marys. Okay, Miss Marys. You a mess. I can tell you that right now. You a mess.
Yeah, like I
Mm-mm.
was on like, damn, like do you get like does your skin get lighter like when you get married to your grandfather? I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
Such a mess. All of it. No, but okay. Real talk. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because number one, if it was that serious, if it was about keeping it in the family, she could have set the will for her stuff specifically to go to her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It was and if she really wanted that and her husband respected what she wanted, he would have given that to the daughter and they could have just worked it out so that he could still pass to the church or whatever the case may be. But it just seems very that is very much incestuous. I don't care if he is her step grandfather or not. First of all, he was there. He's known her since her developmental years. So
Mm-hmm.
that whole dynamic right there just seemed real. I ain't gonna say it. It just seemed real nasty. I put it that way. That's
Yeah,
nasty.
it seems like
That's
really
nasty.
like I don't want to put the child word in front of it, but like grooming, I think that's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah, her own grandma did it. So I
Yeah,
mean,
and my thing is that these people they run a church. And so I just feel like, did God tell you this? Like
absolutely
what
not. Absolutely
exactly?
not.
Like what went through your head to be all like, yo, I gotta marry my step grandfather or we're gonna lose everything. I don't know the business of it all, but like you said, why didn't the grandma just write in her will like it goes to the daughter, it goes, to my family or whatever? Like I'm
Because
pretty
people
sure they could have
play.
had a court or oh, you know what? I actually do remember looking up they
Thank you.
said they didn't want the church to split up. So she found so she thought of a way of marrying him and then that way it stays all in one. That's why. But to me, that's some bullshit.
Facts.
I don't know how you can be all like, oh, well, I wanted it to stay in the family. I didn't want it to split up. So I decided that it's crazy.
You
And I
mad
feel
weird,
like
bro. You weird.
at the end of the day, like what do you explain to like your son? She has a child with her step grandfather. It's just all weird.
She seemed to be real comfortable with it for her to be on national television,
Yeah,
which says a lot about her character,
right.
which
That's
ain't
just
nothing good. I'm just saying.
right. No good come to you when you do something like that.
You
You
should be
know,
very shameful. Like I would be ashamed. That's not something you should display on television. That's another problem. It might be off topic, but that's another problem. I don't
oh, go
like.
ahead.
Um, I'm a Christian. I was raised in the church. I've been a Baptist my whole life. So, but I'm not a traditional Christian. I'm not in church every single Sunday. Matter of fact, I haven't gone to church in a while.
It's been a minute for me. So yeah.
I haven't gone to church in a while. But it's not necessarily because I don't want to go or I hate going. But I married a man who was raised in the Jehovah's Witnesses. So
Mm.
he had a difficult time understanding church. It was scary for him. So I mean, to ease him into it, I I kind of, and I was already pulling back before he came into the picture. But to ease him into it, I kind of would stay home with him. And I just don't like when people use church and religion to forward their own backward ass thinking. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I feel like if you're gonna think that way, then blame it on yourself. Don't put God in the middle of your shenanigans. Like don't don't
exactly.
don't do that. When you go to church, you go to church to be fulfilled. You go to church to be relieved. You got I don't understand how all of them people are sitting up in there knowing that this little girl, at some point she was a little girl. This girl done married her step grandfather, and everybody okay with it. Like that don't make no sense to me. I'm like, it's more men in this world that are of affluence that she could have went after and been with, but she chose to be with this man, and you had to be able to sleep with him. Now let's just put this out on the table. You have now had sex with a man who has slept with your grandmother
Hmm.
on a regular
Um,
basis.
I wasn't even gonna bring this up, but the clip of her explaining it, and I didn't want to do clips because Bravo will take your shit down. But she had stated that, oh, when we got married, I didn't want to consummate the marriage. I told him I was on my period. So right there, that should have told you you knew something was wrong with this whole ordeal. You know what I mean?
But eventually you did, bitch. I mean, bitch, you did though. Just because you didn't do it the night of, don't mean you ain't gonna girl. Bye, girl. Bye. Bye, bye, girl. Because eventually you did.
Right.
I guess when you call him daddy, you mean that. I don't know. That's nasty. That's nasty, girl. That's
You
nasty.
say daddy's home.
That is nasty. Okay? That's gross. No,
It is.
ma'am.
Well, moving on from that, I did want to go ahead and get back into the topic. Why don't our relationships last like our grandparents' relationships do? I was going to say, when it comes to, oh, I don't want to put that up yet. When it comes to marriage, I feel that our grandparents, like we stated earlier, just stuck it out no matter what. No
Mm,
matter how the relationship was, no matter if Papa was a Rolling Stone, and had a
mm.
whole nother family that he was taking care of on the
Which
side,
was
and
true.
then you didn't know that you had an older brother until you became an adult and stuff like that.
Bam.
This was like the typical story and stuff like that. So I feel like people just stayed in these relationships and didn't even think about like, oh, well, if I don't like something, then I can always get a divorce or leave this situation.
Mm,
It's just when we think about how things were back then, there weren't too many different options. You had to be in this kind of Stepford wife or, this suburban kind of life where, you stay together, you tough it out, no matter what kind of circumstance you in, you just tough it out and you deal with it. And then hopefully you have a good life. And if you didn't, well, at least you kept your family together, right?
I guess. Um, yeah, in a nutshell, yeah, that's it. I mean, a lot of times women were scared. Women didn't have what it wasn't a time where education was put impressed upon you as a female. I
Mhm.
remember when I was a kid and my great grandmother was living, she told me she only had an eighth grade education.
Oh, wow.
And she told me straight up that she told me she wanted me to go to college and she wanted me to graduate. So every time I had the opportunity to go beyond the grade that she was in, I was able to. She was always happy that I was, advancing. When I went to college, she had died by then.
Mm.
She was already gone. So I I made sure to go to college and get my degrees and make sure I got that to get that degree for me because I had made that promise to her that I would do it. And I was like, at the time, I didn't think anything of it. But when you're an adult and you look at really what women went through back then and what they are capable of doing now, it's a big accomplishment. And I only wish she was able to see that I got them.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Everything else, like I was like, well, now I got about $180,000 of debt, and that's just on the degrees, honey. That ain't no credit cards or late light bills or nothing. That's just the degrees, baby. That ain't nothing else. So I was like, okay. But my grandma, at least my grandma know I got him. And then my dad too. Like of all five of us, I was the first. My sister came next. And then my oldest brother, he was working on one. And then my younger brother, he went to college. My older sister, she has one. They are all in the military or veterans of the military. So my dad, still to this day, I'm the first of the five that got the degree. And everything that needs to be done, Tiffany can do it because Tiffany has a master's degree. That's the consensus of the house.
For that.
Clearly, I must know how to do it because I have a master's degree. I'm not a rocket scientist. I don't know how to do all of that. I just know a little bit about business. That's it.
Hey,
That's
but they think you did go to college for rocket science, though.
I might as well have $180,000. I might as well have.
Right. Not to get sentimental, but it does kind of remind me of with my grandma. Education was so important to her, and I remember she'd be all like, "Oh, I want you to." There's a video, and I don't have a copy of it. My mom does, of people in my family saying things, good things about me and what they hope for my future after I graduated. Right. One of the reasons why I don't want to watch it is because my grandmother is no longer here, and it'll just make me cry and stuff like that. But she had said that she wanted me to continue going to school and get my education and stuff like that. I remember while she was going through some stuff, and I don't know if this was a part of dementia or not, but she had stated that she regrets not working. She was a housewife, and she's like, man, if only I could work, if only I could work. And my grandma did have a good life. My grandfather gave her freedom because and it's funny, I relate to your husband because she was a Jehovah's Witness, but my grandfather wasn't. But they still were married to each other and they respected each other. So it's kind of weird because I hear things about how restrictive, and I know it is, the restrictive the religion is, but my grandfather wasn't a Jehovah's Witness, but my grandma was, but they still loved each other. So I still kind of had the best of both worlds where I could step outside of religion and see like a human being. Maybe that's why I have a relationship with God, and I feel like we all do, but I feel that I can step outside of myself and see someone without judging them and saying like, my religion tells me I need to hate you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't really hate anybody. I may not always agree with everybody and the decisions that they make, but I don't really hate anybody. I only hate people that do something that's detrimental to me. And even then, it's just a strong dislike. Hate is a very strong word. I feel like you had to have something with somebody in order to hate them at some point. They have to grow to that. Like, I don't hate Donald Trump. I just don't like him. So, I mean, I don't have no hate for him in that sense because I don't know him. I don't want to care to know him, but I just don't like him. And when it comes to the differences, when you get married, you learn to. The way I did it with Gerard and the way I still handle it with him is I took the time to try to understand him as a person. And if you're going to be in a relationship with someone and you're going to work with them in that sense. You're gonna have days where you're not gonna want to be around them. You're gonna have days where you're not gonna want to have to deal with that. Like they irritate you. Them breathing is just like, yo, you breathing today. Like you're actually breathing. Just you're gonna have days. It's just it's a roller coaster. So what I learned, and I could give you an example from the beginning when I got with him. He was very heavy into video games. He still is.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand it at first. I understood it because I had brothers, and my oldest brother, he's into video games, and I knew it at the time. And when he would come over, my little brother got into it, so he would play with him, and they got their relationship started off of that. And I was like, okay, well, he likes video games, cool, whatever. But I didn't know it was this bad. Like the amount of time and money spent on this particular hobby alone.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. It's crazy. So when we first got married, I was just like, I would call home and my dad would be like, "Where's Dry?" I'm like, in the living room playing a video game. He's always on the video game. He was like, "Wait, he on the video game?" Like, yeah, that's where he lived. I refer to his PlayStation and what was his Xbox as his girlfriend's, because that's the only way I can rationalize the behavior of it. And I used to get mad. I used to be like, why do you sit up and play the video game all day? And then I was like, when I understood why he was so connected to this particular hobby, I didn't buck against him having it. I either joined him and let him play with him, or I would sit in the room and do what I'm doing and talk to him, and he would sit there and play the game and respond. He's not a bad husband. He has his moments, as do I. You just have to learn how to roll with the punches. If you're gonna be married, when you're married to somebody, you have to learn how to enjoy their hobbies just as much as he has to learn how to enjoy yours. So he understands that there are certain things I'm into. He liked wrestling before we got married, but I loved wrestling. That was just what I like watching. I grew up watching it. So he began to love what I love because he loved me. And that's just how it works.
Right. And that's awesome because you guys have a compromise where it's all like, I don't understand this, but I'm gonna like what you like, and I'm gonna work it out and see what fits for me. Like for example, like what's his favorite video game and what's your favorite video game?
Oh, he got a lot.
Give us the top three.
That damn NBA 2K, I hate it. If I ever get the chance, I promise you I'm gonna take it outside and shoot it. I'm telling you, straight up Stewie and Brian just outside beating the dog shit out that game. I hate that game.
Damn.
But I don't say nothing. He be in there playing. I don't say nothing. I let him have his little time with his little girlfriend. Now, he have other games. Like, Gerard's a big RPG guy, so he'll play stuff like Final Fantasy. And he likes fighter games, but he don't like the main fighter games. Like, he'll play Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. He'll play, Tekken, but Gerard likes the Japanese games like Guilty Gear and
I have a friend who's into that stuff. Yeah, I'm actually more into like fighting games myself. Like, I love Mortal Kombat. I love Tekken. I love Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah, he likes that too.
I love
Street Fighter. He's a Street Fighter dude. He likes Street Fighter and he likes Mortal Kombat. That's where he resides, and I'm fine with that. And he'll play Madden, and he'll watch football, basketball. He'll sit and watch football and basketball all day if he could. If he could make a living off of watching football and basketball, he definitely would. That'd be the greatest day of his life, is to actually, outside of playing the sport, it'd be to actually be able to sit and watch it and get paid for it.
Well, before we take a commercial break, what are some of your favorite video games?
I like video games with stories. So I'll play stuff like LA Noire, and I liked Heavy Rain. he has a video game that he just got done playing. What is the name of that game he got playing? The one where it had the machines as the animals. Horizon Zero Dawn. Is that it? I like that game. I've never played it, and then I like watching him play those kinds of games. Like I like watching him play The Last of Us. I don't like them zombie-like games. I hate them zombie-ass games. They freak me out. But the story for The Last of Us was interesting, so I'll watch it. And then he has games that are more Japanese-based, like Tales of Vesperia and that kind of stuff, and Final Fantasy, and they have really interesting stories. And I'll just sit and watch him play so I can read the stories or listen to the stories. But for me personally, I like playing Fable. I like Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
What's the other game I was playing?
Back for a minute.
Oh yeah, I've played every single Lord Croft game that has come out.
Oh, Crash Bandicoot. That's one of my favorite ones too.
I hate Crash Bandicoot.
We're about to take this damn commercial break.
You're welcome to AT2's Dirty 2 live birthday celebration on December 18th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you guys are there. Remember, the theme is grown and sexy, or you can just come naked. We're going to have special guests. It's going to be a countdown show. We're going to count down our favorite moments from the show. Also, don't forget, bring a drink, bring your weed, whatever you want to. We're going to have a good time. We're going to play Never Have I Ever. It's going to be so much fun. Thank you guys for joining me for my birthday, December 18th. Be there or be square. Let's get real, y'all.
Fucking gross, yo.
So yes, that is December 18th. It's actually the day before my birthday, but on the East Coast, we're going to lead into my birthday, which is December 19th. It's going to start at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tiff will actually be there, so I'm excited about that. We're going to play Never Have I Ever. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you feel a little frisky, drop a couple of dollars in the Cash App. You know, I'm online panhandling. But anyway, I wanted to get into an article today that I've seen. Now I didn't get the statistics from this article, but it was from the IFS, which is the Institute Family Services or something to that effect. I'll clean it up. I'll figure out what it is after we're done. But they were stating that the divorce rate has actually dropped. But there's one thing, is that the marriage rate has also dropped as well too. So not as many people are getting married. Now they stated that, which we already kind of discussed, this is related to us millennials and the Gen Zers. I hate saying that, but the Gen Zers, we are wanting to get our finances together, get established first and stuff like that before getting married, where back in the day, like we said earlier, you know, people were just hopping into relationships and just getting married, you know, and it was just a part of the way. But we're waiting to kind of get established first, which this is kind of weird because in your case, Tiff, you got married at 21. So you are you were more old school, even though people were getting married like at 17, 18, but you was a little old school because you got married at 21.
Yes, I did. I don't have a problem with making sure you get yourself together before you get married, but I know that a lot of millennials and Gen Zers and even the generation before us, they're focused on their finances, but y'all not focused on your mental. I don't understand the concept of, I get that you want to be stable. That I understand. Because you don't want to feel like you're going into something and you don't have your shit together. So right. I can understand that. But if you don't have yourself together mentally, you're not going to be able to make a marriage work. You have to be able to, you know what? I watch Funky Dineva's channel a lot because I like him. I think he's funny, but also Q has a way of speaking that makes sense. But where I disagree with him a lot is when he says, is where he says that Love shouldn't be work. And I
Mm.
feel like
I've
I
never
feel like
heard that. That's good.
but
Love
that's not
shouldn't be
true.
work.
It's not true though. First of all,
Oh.
you can't say that if you've never been in love. If you've never had a relationship where it was long
Hey, Miss
term.
Purple.
Hello, Miss Purple. Hello, Miss Queen. How are you guys doing? I want to be rude. Hello. Anyway, it's not true. It's a silly concept to think that because you're in love, it shouldn't be work. Love is not the only thing that makes a relationship work. So in hindsight,
Mm.
you would have to do work in order to keep it going. Even though you love that person, the love is your foundation, your friendship, your trust, that all comes into play together. And you can't have just be like, well, love should hold you through. That is a silly narrative. It is stupid, and it absolutely will take you into a place where you don't need to be. You have to be willing to work on it because people change in relationships and outside of relationships. Every
Right.
year you're in a relationship with someone, it will consistently, they will change because you're living together. Things are changing around you. Your environment causes you to change. So you will change how you behave, how you act, and just the dynamics of who you are will change. And that is where the work comes in. You have to work on loving them past these changes. And that's why I say you can't say love isn't work because it is.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because I feel that and maybe his perspective was that you shouldn't have to work at trying to love somebody. I think that's probably what he meant. I would have to watch it to understand, but I think because that's what I got from it when you told me that. Like you shouldn't
In
have to try to love someone. It should just come naturally. I think that's what he was trying to say. But I'll have
in the
to look at
context of what he was talking about, it was like in some aspects, yes, he's right when you mean when you're in love, it's not going to be work. It is love. You love that person. You're going to
it.
do whatever it takes to make them happy, and it should reciprocate the same way. What I'm
Right.
talking about, we're not talking about that aspect of love. You're talking about the parts of love where you're about to lose your house, your car note is due, your kids they out of control, you in your mid to late 30s, you've been with a person for over 10 years, and things aren't clicking. You still have to love them past all of that. That's work.
Mm.
I don't care what anybody says. When things are not going right, that is true work. That's when your trials come in. That's where you have to rely on the fact that no, he ain't got no job. It looked like he ain't doing shit, but he trying. He trying. You can't blame him if he trying. He trying to go get a
True.
job, and he come home working for fucking fast, goddamn Giant Eagle, bagging groceries every day, and he's sitting at the edge of the bed about to cry. You crying. That's hard
Mhm.
work, but you still love them though.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean when I say you can't talk about it if you ain't never lived it. You can
Right.
only talk about the love you know and what you expect. Your aspirations of love is just too broad. You need to be more realistic about it, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Don't be so jaded by what you see in movies and on TV. Because I'm telling you right now, the notebook is not real. Motherfucking Cinderella is not real.
Right.
Okay, you can't be Ariel in the pine and get out and Prince Eric gonna fall in love with you and you combing your hair with forks, bitch. That don't work.
Hmm.
Okay, that's not how this works. Okay, you got to really. First of all, a man has to be intrigued to be with you, just like you have to be intrigued to be with him. And you being pretty and having a fat ass, and you might be able to throw together some tacos, is not gonna keep his ass there with you for no 15 and 20 years, bitch. That ain't how this works. You're gonna have to figure something else out.
But I mean, so for you, Tiff, as long as he's trying, that's what you're talking about. You're not saying that you should just be with somebody who doesn't have any dreams or aspirations or anything like that. You're saying if he's trying and you guys are trying to make things happen, that's what you're talking about. Because I just want to clarify for people who watch this later and might take it out of context, you know?
Girl, please, I don't want, if you want to, look, I'll put it this way. If a man is doing the best he can and he's working towards taking care of you, and you feel like he don't have no goals, he don't have no aspirations beyond what you think he should have, then maybe you should be thinking about your goals and aspirations. Because you cannot put off your shortcomings and your perception onto that man. He can only tell you what he sees and what he wants. If he's telling you, baby, I'm okay with working 3 jobs to take care of you, I don't have a problem with that. That's what I like doing. I'm taking care of you. I'm taking care of the kids. Why does he have to be a damn lawyer? Why can't he work them 3 jobs to take care of you? It's not always about what you want. Sometimes you have to get, I'm not telling you to settle. Don't take it like that.
Right.
I'm not telling you to settle. What I'm telling you is if he's not giving you what you feel like he should be. Oh, he's not aspiring to be nothing. And I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And he's just working 3 jobs. You got to understand that both of y'all are not equally yoked in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all not on the same level in your thinking. But that don't mean he's not doing his part. That don't mean he's not doing his job. You have to, you got to respect what he bringing to the table. It's the best way to explain it.
Yeah, I like what you kind of said. And I'm going to say it a different way. And you're probably going to be mad at me. But I was thinking like, well, shit, why can't your ass work? Why I got to work 3 jobs? Why can't you get
hell no, you trying it.
That's not what you said, Tiff.
No, sir. No, you're not. Nope, you're not gonna put words in my mouth, babe. No, sir. No, sir. It's not what I said. It's not what I said. Now,
I heard you say that Queen, I was gonna move to Florida and live with Queen for the rest of my life, and she was gonna take care of me. That's what I heard.
If Queen decide that that's what she want to do, that's on Miss Queen. That's on her. That's at her discretion. What she trying to do. But know this, Miss Queen, this is your decision. You chose to take him down there. Don't be waiting later talking about some he ain't shit. He don't work. He'll come to my house and don't work. Because this is the dynamic you set up. Okay? This is what you set up. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I guess I heard you wrong, man.
No, you didn't. You heard what you wanted to hear. Per the usual.
Like, per usual. Oh, man. I wanted to go ahead and get into some data that I had seen. This was provided by a law firm called Wilkinson, and I think it's Finkbeiner. I don't know. I don't speak German. But they're a family law attorneys company, and they had some facts about marriage that I thought was interesting. This one shows the divorce rate.
Damn, Russia just getting divorced every day. God damn.
Right. And I noticed a lot of these places are like European countries too and stuff like that. The U.S. is 4th in that. Luckily, we're not number 1. Right. They said the average first marriage, they did have the second marriage, but I forgot to get that one. The average first marriage that ends in divorce lasts about 8 years. So for males, it's 7.8, and then females, it's 7.9, which I thought that was interesting. So it's all like a good 8 years, and then boom, that's it. You know.
Damn. That's a low turnover rate. Ain't no retention in that. I don't. Right. That's terrible.
Right. And like I stated, the divorce rate has fell since the last 50. It's at a 50-year low. As you see, it's at 14. I believe that's 14.3. It's hella small. I should have blew it up bigger. But no, 14.9. That's what it says. So it's at its rate. For whatever reason, a lot of people were getting divorced in the 80s. I wonder what was going on then. Was there a war or something in the 80s?
Not a war.
No, because I know during World War II, there was a lot of divorces during that time too, which I felt was interesting. So that's a few things that I found on the internet that I thought like, that's an interesting, different perspective. But you know, as I said before, less people are getting married now. I already put that up. Come home, babe. Yeah, I told you Queen was gonna take care of me.
Okay, understand. I'm telling you, them
Hey,
your dynamics. Give me your dynamics.
yo, I want to tell you something real quick. Queen gonna be mad at me. You know I love you, Queen. But Queen had told a story, and I'm not gonna give all the details, but she had told a story about how you know those banquet meals, the TV dinners, right?
Yeah.
She had a date, so she cooked them the TV dinner and threw away like the packages and stuff like that. So he wouldn't.
No. No, Miss Queen, you didn't.
Yo, she gonna hate me for telling that story, but that shit was funny. I could.
Did he know? I need to know. Did he find out?
She said that he didn't know. But let me tell you something.
Oh, she upset. She is upset. Oh, poor baby. You had to put her out there like that. You had to put that lady out there like that. That ain't right. Oh, Miss Queen.
You know the banquet meals, the mashed potatoes are like, they're not even like real mashed potatoes. It's hella nasty. So I'm all like, nah, he knew. He had to have known.
You ain't shit, Jay. You didn't put that lady shit out there like that. Now, see, you got to tell something embarrassing about yourself. Because you don't put her out there like that.
Well, you know, I did earlier. Remember I said I paid a cell phone bill and only got a hug? Okay, so I'll tell you guys a story about the cell phone bill real quick. I'm sorry, Queen. You know I love you.
I'm going to let him tell his story, but I'm going to tell my brother this story. Hold on. I'm going to mute my mic so you can tell y'all about him paying this girl phone bill.
So I had a coworker, right? And she was actually dating my friend. We all worked at the movie theater. She was actually dating my friend, but I was all like, well, shit, I'm going to try to slide up in there and, shoot my shot. AT2 didn't care back then. He didn't care about morals and values or nothing like that. So what I ended up doing was, we had developed a friendship. She said she needed to get a phone and stuff like that. She was on her parents' plan. Well, what I did, I was like, oh, well, why don't we do a family plan together? It'll be cheaper. You pay your part and I pay my part. We split it in the middle. That way you can get you a new phone and then I can get a new phone. So, excuse me, I thought I was hustling and figuring it out. And so the first couple of months it went okay. I paid my part, she paid her part. And then later on down the line, I noticed that she wouldn't pay her part. And I ended up paying the cell phone bill. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep paying it. And then she was making like international calls and text messages to Honduras and shit like that. And I looked at the bill. Yeah. So I looked at the bill and I was all like, yo, you can't be making phone calls and text messages and stuff like that. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And I was like, hey, you didn't pay your bill, right? So your portion of the bill. So she was like, oh, I'm sorry, she was like, I'll go ahead and drop it off at the store, because you can make a partial payment at the store and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. So a week later, she never made that payment. So what ended up happening was that I forgot why I was short on it, but I couldn't pay the cell phone bill because it was too expensive or whatever. So the phones got shut off. Her dude came to me and was like, hey, how come the phones are off? Like, what happened? I thought, you guys are paying it. And I was like, well, I was all like, I've been paying the bill by myself. She hasn't been helping me out. So I ended up talking to her and I was like, hey, you didn't pay your portion. I don't have the money for it. She was like, oh, really? She was like, I swear I went to the store and dropped off a payment. I don't know what's going on. Da 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 da. I'm really? Like, how don't you know you ain't paying your portion of the motherfucking bill? You
got played. You got played.
Yeah. So all in all, I ended up cutting her line off and then just, getting a whole new service and stuff like that. And I forgot what excuse I made up of why I had to cancel the original plan. But yeah, that's how I got ripped out of. I played my part. You laughing, but you want to go to Miss Queen and feed him all the banquet. Hey, baby, if you taking care of me, I'll eat all the banquet dinners and pretend like it's a steak dinner. You just want to sit up on the street. No.
Wow.
So this is yo, yo, I'm not gonna tell you how much I owe AT&T, but it's somewhere in the thousands.
Oh, Jesus. Pray for him, Miss Queen. Don't take him in your house. Don't take him in your house. Don't do it.
Yo, that's why I need Queen to co-sign on a few things for me.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I know her credit is good. Oh man. But yeah, that was my embarrassing story. Damn it.
Told on that lady business. You hadn't told her business, you wouldn't have had to
see, if I hadn't told her business, I wouldn't have to share that. Damn it. You know what? That's actually a funny topic. Like, have you ever been gypped out some money before? Tiff, have you ever, not in a relationship, but have you ever been like gypped out of some money and been like, where the hell my money at? And they play dumb, like they don't know where it is?
Yeah, and I wasn't. I thought I was in a relationship, but I wasn't. Like I went on a date with a dude. He said he wanted me to be his girl, which was cool. And we talked. And then like about a month or so later, he was like, yeah, do you think you could buy me this game? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I didn't have no money at the time, right? And I was like, okay, well, I'm like, let me go ask my mom. I begged her. I was like, Mom, can you buy me this game so I can give it to him? It's his birthday, yada, yada, yada. She was like, why are you buying him something? Y'all went on one date. Like, I'm like, he already told me he wanted me to be his girl. And I was like really naive. So she was like, okay, I'll make you a deal. She was like, you tell him you bought it and see how he reacts. If he's calling you every day trying to figure out when he gonna get it, I'm not buying the game because he don't like you like that. He just playing you. But if he says okay and you tell him you're gonna bring it at a specific time and he don't call and he's not calling you just about the game, I'll go buy it for you. I was like, deal. So I did what she told me. He called every day for 2 weeks straight, about twice a day. Did you get the game? What the cover look like? Tell me what's on the cover. And I was like, so one day I went downtown to FYE, looked at the cover of the game, went home, he called, and I was able to tell him what the cover of the game looked like because I had just saw it. So right. I was like, that's what he was like, oh, so you got it. Cool. My mother, 2 weeks went by, my mother's like, what he been doing? I'm like, he been calling every day asking for this game. She's like, yeah, he don't want you like that. He was like, you break this up right now. So I told him I didn't have the game, and he hung up on me in my face.
What?
He hung up on me when I told him I didn't have the game. And I called him back, and he was like, I'm mad because you lied to me, not because you didn't get the game. He tried to put one of them things on me, right?
Oh, he was trying to play you and be like, oh, you lied to me. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he was like, you my girl and everything. You don't have to lie to me like that. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. And some days go by, so I decided to call him. And he was like, my cousin over here, I can't talk right now. I'm like, your cousin? What? What are you talking about? I'm on the phone. He's talking to some girls in the background. And so I called. He was like, I'm going to call you back. I'm going to wait till my cousin go home. I'm like, why would you need to call me back because your cousin is there? That don't make no sense to me. So I kept calling, and he kept ignoring me. And last time that she picked up the phone, she was like, if you call my man's house again, I'm going to beat your ass. And I'm like, beat my ass?
Oh, shit.
I want to see this. I want to see. I'm like, I will call every day at the same day on the same hour, bitch. You're not finna whoop my ass. Never a day.
She trying to threaten
Like,
you?
she got upset and was like, "Who is this bitch you got on the phone?" And I heard him in the background like, "It's some fat girl I was finessing." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So some time passed.
Wow.
I was like 14, 15 at the time. When I met Gerard, I was in high school when me and Gerard got together. When we officially got together, I was a senior in high school. When we got together, everything was cool. Like me and AJ vibe because we was already friends. We had been friends for like 3 years before we started dating. So it never got to that point. Kind of, brother is in my room, y'all. I'm sorry. Anyway, me and AJ was having a good time, and our relationship progressed slowly. So we was just enjoying each other's company and just chilling. And it wasn't nothing, but I happened to be on Facebook and this little message pops up that says, "You might know him." And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh God. I get a message in my inbox like, "Hey, you might not remember me, but we dated a while back. How you doing?" And I'm like, "Alive." I'm like, "What do you want?" He was like, "Well, I just wanted to let you know I've been thinking about you." Like, I was like,
No.
I'm
Hey,
the
did he
fat
ask for
girl
the
you was
game back?
finessing. Period. I was like, I'm the fat girl you was finessing, remember? Like, let's
Right.
be real. He was like, "Man, I ain't mean that. Like, at the time, I was trying to get the game, and I didn't realize how much I hurt you." And I'm like, boy,
Get
that
the
was
fuck
like
out of here.
5 years ago. I'm like, I'm over it. He had like 2 or 3 babies, and I'm like, boy, what you think? I'm gonna be baby mama number 3? No. I was like, no thanks. It's
Wow. He thought he was gonna finesse a big girl. See, that's some fucked up shit. Shout out to Miss Purple because Miss Purple, if you guys follow her on YouTube, she talks about this stuff. Men trying to slip in, for the winter, get them a hot cooked meal,
oh
lay with a big girl and think, oh, you just gonna be able to finesse her and shit like that. But Miss Purple is strong. She's like, hell no, you ain't gonna do that with me. And just her life experience and stuff like that. So shout out to Miss Purple. So it's funny that you had brought that up
the
because I had
that
just
shit
seen
is
one of her
real.
videos.
That fetish shit is out. It's crazy. It's crazy to me how you could be with me in the dark at your house, in the dark with the lights on at your house, but outside it's embarrassing. It's like you should be embarrassed that you gotta ride the bus to come to my house, my G. You should be embarrassed that you wearing them busted ass black Air Force Ones that turn up at the toe. You should be embarrassed that your jeans drag the ground and got holes in them. You should be embarrassed that you got dirt under your nails and you ain't even took the time to wash the crack of your ass and you got shit stains in your drawers. That's what you should be embarrassed about. I don't go outside looking sloppy. Now, I may not
Right.
wake up every time I go outside my door. That's my prerogative. I can do what I want. But when I leave, I don't stink. I smell decent. If a bitch gotta carry fucking coochie spray, baby powder, goddamn extra lotion, okay, perfume. You get out the car, if you get a whiff, and you like, oh, I'm gonna have to go get me some of them coochie wipes at the store. Open the things up in the bathroom, refresh, spray, and then hit you with the baby powder right quick. Then you go out the bathroom, you step like you got all the confidence in the world, honey. Okay, I don't roll like that. Don't roll like that. So being embarrassed that you with me, only thing you got on me is that I'm fat, bitch. That's it. My coochie twirl just like yours do, bitch. You can't do nothing more than I can. Stop playing with me.
Message.
You turn off the lights, all of us pink on the inside hole. So stop. Stop. That's all I'm saying. You might have to do a little lifting, to get. I'm just saying, it still works.
Oh man, I love you, Tiff. Before we wrap up, I did want to ask you about being pressured because I feel like this all ties in. Because recently my mom had said something to me all like, "Oh, when you gonna have some kids?" And I'm all like, "Can I be married first before I have kids? Like, I just don't want to have kids and then have baby mamas and stuff like that. Like, can I get married first? You know, like that's kind of like my thing. Like, I don't see any pressure. You know, this is nothing against women, but I don't feel like I have like the clock or anything like that and have to worry about that kind of stuff. I feel like I
Don't
can do
like
me and I can be selfish.
you could be 75 and make a kid, Dre. Like you ain't got to. You
Right.
don't have no clock. No.
Right. Oh, Miss Purple and Queen was laughing at your story, by the way. I forgot to put this
No.
But yeah, so do you feel because you're actually married, do you feel pressure from people? Not you necessarily, from people.
Not anymore. At first, I did because at the time when I got married, my father had. There are 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad, and he had 3 girls and 2 boys, and both of his sons had kids, but their last names are not my father's last name. So my dad was
Mm.
like, my line of the Epps have stopped.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, my brother busted back in my room. Just
Oh.
they fell in here. I'm sorry. Yeah, I swear to God, if y'all can hear him, he's an idiot. Anyway, they had kids and they didn't. Their last names are different, so all of them, they're still his grandkids. He loves them, but
Right.
there's no more of the Ernest Epps side. The Eppses have stopped. So
Mhm.
I was like, well, I want to have a kid, but I don't want to be pressured to have a child just so my father's name can continue on. I feel like I need to be able to provide for my child better than my parents provided for me. And right now, at this point in my life, that's not possible. I would struggle to take care of them. And to be honest, yes, struggling is a part of life, but
Right.
you don't add to your struggle, and just for the sanity of your child, like to protect your child. I don't want my child to go through a lot of unnecessary pain and strife.
Yeah.
So
I don't want them to want for nothing, you know?
yeah, but I know that I'm not at a point where I'm like, well, I don't want my kid, like I want my kid to live in a nice house and I want them to live in the suburbs and I want them to go to private school. Like I'm not like that.
Oh, you're so bougie.
School. Shut up. I went to public school. I'm a public school kid. I was raised in the projects. We weren't raised with a project mindset. My father raised 5 kids. None of us went to jail. None of us ended up pregnant. All of us got out of the projects and was able to make something of ourselves. So it's not a difficult concept. It's not the end of the world because you live in the projects. It's just that's where you are for right now. So
Right.
I didn't want to have
That's not the destiny, you know?
yeah, like I didn't want to have my kids go through that. So I was like, when I get myself to a point where I can take care of them with no issues, then I would definitely do that. But then too, my brothers and sisters had kids early in their 20s, and I was always helping them. I was always around them. I was
Hmm.
always a kid with me at some point. So
Right. And
I
you're
was
an
like,
awesome auntie too. I do want to say that. You love like your nieces and nephews and stuff.
I
So I do
do.
want to applaud you for that.
They're like the kids I never asked to have, and I didn't have, I didn't have to have.
I didn't
So
ask for them, but these mofos are here.
you're right. I love them. They like but I'm always around at least 1 or 2 of them.
Hmm.
It's never a time when they're not around. So I don't have a desire to have any children. And my husband, he wants to have kids, and he's like, At this point, why? We already got at least 3 of them that come around on a regular basis. Like, just get them. Shit, just go get them.
Right, just
There you
borrow them for a
go.
minute, you know?
I mean, I'm getting ready to be. I'll be 35 my birthday, babe. Or I'm getting ready to be 34. I'll be 34. Damn, I don't even know how old I am. Anyway, in my 30s, I'll be 34 my birthday. So my dad is like, it's dangerous for you to have kids when you're in your 40s. And I'm just like, well, physically, if I'm healthy enough to have a child, I wouldn't mind doing it. But
Right.
if I hit the age where I can't have kids, there are plenty of kids in the system who want to have a nice home.
Yes, adoption. Like I've always been thinking about that. Like I think that there's so many kids in the foster system. There's actually a map I seen. Here in California, there's almost like close to like 30,000 kids in the foster system without any parents. So
That's because
it's crazy when you look at those numbers.
everybody wants infants. Everybody wants infants, or they want kids
Mhm.
under the age of 5.
I don't want to change
Um,
a diaper.
Me either. I give me a 13-year-old. I'll slap a hoe. I don't have no problem. Come to my
Right,
house
give me
so
an
they
older
have
kid.
to. Shit, come to my house. Just because your coochie got hair on it don't mean you finna start talking to me out the side of your neck. Like, little girl. First of all, go wash. First, go wash your ass. Then you can
Yeah.
talk.
And then I was kind of thinking, this is a selfish reason, but I don't want to explain like I'm not your biological parent. You know what I mean? I don't want to explain that. I just feel like that has to be so awkward. Just imagine if I had a Chinese baby and now I got to explain to my Chinese baby why I'm black and they Chinese. Like, it's just weird. I don't want to have to explain that.
Nah, fam. I see. That's the thing. I've never been I'm like, well, if I adopt a baby and my child came to me and she said, I'm going to find me something to eat. Okay.
Well, have a happy Thanksgiving, Miss Purple. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you.
If I had adopted a baby, an infant, and they wanted to know why I was a different race than them, different color, or why we look different, I would tell them the truth. I don't think there's anything awkward about that. Your mother or your father was not capable of taking care of you physically and mentally, and I was there. And I stepped up to make sure you had the life you needed. It doesn't make me love you any less. Because we different, that makes it even better. Because then we can understand each other's cultures, we can understand each other's background, and you can decide what culture you want to be a part of, as long as you don't appropriate it and respect the culture. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? That's a simple conversation. That's not hard to explain. A child just wants to feel loved. And if you can provide that for a kid, then that's all that matters. Everything else will come easy.
You know what? That is true. Because in my head, I was thinking of all the lies I can think of, and you just explained it and made it so simple of how you can.
Because you ain't got to tell him his mama was a crackhead and his daddy was a pimp. You ain't got to say all that shit. You ain't got to
I
tell
was
him
thinking
that.
a whole scenario in my head. I don't even want to go into it because it's going to take me like 20 minutes
Like,
to
well, there was
explain.
some shorts that brought you here. And I just picked you up outside. And I said, you know what? I'm going to raise this little Asian baby. Because they left you right on my doorstep. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Just tell the baby that you love them. That's all you got to tell them.
Right, you ain't gotta explain all that. Yeah, right. I know. But you know me and my twisted head. But anyway, Tiff, before we wrap up, I did want to say one more thing. What would you say is the key to a healthy marriage?
I
Coming
don't know.
from a perspective from someone who is married.
I said, I don't know. I don't have a healthy marriage. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm just playing.
well, thank you guys for checking out the show.
I'm joking.
It was a joke.
Communication is a big thing. You have to know how to. First of all, when I say you have to know how to speak to your partner, there is a certain way you have to talk to them. When you're with somebody, and they've begun to understand you and the way you speak and how you operate, there's a certain way that you should know how to speak to them so that even in
Mm.
your anger, you don't degrade them, you don't emasculate them, and you don't make them feel like they're worthless or that they're not, as smart as you or as good as you because they've made a mistake.
Right.
Um, Number two, it's just you just have to have respect. There's a certain level of human respect you should have, but there's also a certain level you should have in respect to your partner, male or female, or however you choose to live your life. You still have to be respectful of your partner. There are going to be times where they piss you off, like I said before, and there's a certain way you have to speak to them. And a lot of people refer to it as love language, but the way I see it is, if you are talking to someone and your intention is to degrade them and make them feel bad, that's not love. You are intentionally hurting someone. So you would have to rethink how you approach an argument. Even in anger and an argument and in confusion, you still have to be like, this is still my husband, this is still my wife. I can tell them that I'm upset with them without making them feel like shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Number two, you have to learn how to like what he likes and love what she loves, because you don't understand the power behind that. When you're willing to like what they like and love what they love, they will reciprocate that same love and admiration on a larger scale for you. It could be anything. If your wife is sitting up looking at AT2's YouTube channel, like, you know what, Tasha K, that's a bitch right there. You be like, you know what, she is. She's she straight up trash. Y'all can sit up there and kiki for hours about some shit she talking about. She like, you know what? I was on the shade room. Let me go get us some wine right quick so we can talk about the shade room right quick. You
Right.
understand? You'll get your friend. It's a give and take type of thing, and don't do it expecting something in return. Do it because you love them and you know that it makes them
Mm.
feel good to have you do that. That's how it works. Everything else will fall into place. You're gonna have times where your finances ain't great, your mental may not be great, but your spouse will pick up where you fall, and then when they fall, you will pick up where they fall. That's how that works. Y'all supposed
Right.
to work in tandem. So instead of, and one last thing I think you should do is always speak
Mhm.
what you want.
Mm.
When you with somebody, and I hate this, when you with someone, especially we as women, we expect the man to be a goddamn mind reader. He ain't no Jinn. He does not have magic
Yeah.
powers. He not
I
sitting up
don't get
there
that
like,
implied stuff. You need to tell me what you want.
I wonder if she want to eat tacos today. You know what? I'm gonna go pick her up some tacos. Then you bring the tacos home and she want Chinese food. No, that ain't how this works. You can't just be like, well, you should have known that I like tacos on Thursday at 9:25. Oh, goddamn it, bitch. He barely
Yeah.
remember what you like to
I'm
eat
not a
yesterday.
mind reader.
He
You
don't know
know?
that. You can't do that. You got to speak what you want. If you want some tacos, call them. Look, before you come home, bring me some tacos. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Just tell him what you want. Men are a
Yeah,
lot.
you gotta tell me.
They think and they move. They ain't thinking about what happened yesterday and 6 years ago. They don't remember that. All they know is yesterday I was playing Madden and I got my ass whooped, but I'm finna go beat Terry ass today on that game. That's all they remember. That's all they remember. They don't remember shit else.
Right. We don't remember all those other details. What's up, Jasmine? Thank you for checking out the show.
You have to think. All you have to do is just communicate. Whatever you're trying to do or whatever you want from him, you need to tell him. But be reasonable in your want. Don't ask him to be no rocket scientist when you know he dumb as hell. Don't do that.
Right. Tell me what you want. Hey, in the words of Drew Hill, tell me what
So
you want.
every time we get on
Tell
here, he got to
me what you need.
don't nobody else say
Tell
something to him.
me if it ain't good enough for
Y'all
you,
don't
babe.
say when he get to singing like this. Y'all don't say nothing to him. Y'all just let him do it. Y'all don't tell him no key. Y'all ain't no kind of friends. Ain't none of y'all no friends to him. Y'all don't tell him the truth. You tell the truth. Your own kid, right? Your own kid, you need to stop it.
Yo, for my birthday, I'm gonna do 3 song
Hell no.
selection. So just be
No, you
ready.
not. No, you not. No, sir. No, sir. I'm like,
All
not
right.
here.
Oh, and one last piece of advice: don't marry your grandpa.
Oh, please don't. Please, because that's nasty. That's
Don't be
nasty.
like Mary. Don't marry your grandpa and then all of a sudden turn Michael Jackson white. Look at
Ooh,
this. I just want to bring it up one more time. Tiff. Look at this black woman.
look at the lady. Look at the lady.
Now,
That's what she
look at
that's
this
what
white
like.
woman. Look at the white woman.
Go back to the picture,
Black,
Dre. That's what she looked like when they got married. That's what she look
and
like
then
now.
boom.
I don't know, but she real light all of a sudden. She real bright.
You can't tell me. She shine bright like a diamond.
And her nose real slim. She had that real bell pepper nose before. Now it's all
Yeah.
slender
See,
and mysteriously
bell pepper nose,
got a mole on her face. How you manufacture a cosmetic
white
mole?
woman nose,
Mole on the side. What girl?
bell pepper
And
nose,
then you a
white
preacher.
woman
You
nose.
know what? My daddy always say to watch out for false prophets, and that's one of them. So as far as I'm concerned,
Right.
man, I don't follow none of her eating. Ain't got nothing to do with that. Oh,
This
baby.
show is ridiculous. Jasmine, oh my it's gonna be December 18th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're gonna play Never Have I Well, you know what? Let me play y'all the commercial. Tiff, go ahead and give the people your information where they can find you at before I play the promo.
Okay. So one more thing before he leaves. She said you better say, child, don't do not
Right.
encourage him.
Okay.
Do not
Go ahead.
encourage him. Don't do it. One more thing before you go. If you don't want to be married, if you feel like marriage isn't for you, you don't have to be. That's not
Mhm.
something that you have to aspire to do. But what I really do hope that a lot of men and women do is when you find somebody you love, that you love them enough to want to marry them. I think that's only fair. I'm not saying that you have to be married to be with someone, but I do think that when you are willing to dedicate your time to a person and space and life, then that should be able to be reciprocated with the ring and that bond. It's more of a bond
Right.
than anything. And I married my best friend, so I don't see why anybody else can't. And I didn't ever think I was gonna get married. You see how dumb I be acting, child. And it's 10 times worse. It's 10 times worse when I'm not trying to be professional, honey. It's a mess. But I'm just saying, like, when you don't expect for that to happen and it happens and you find somebody that you really love, it's only fair that you would want to spend the rest of your life with them. And I think if a person loves you enough and they're willing to get to know you enough, then they will tell you that they're ready. But you
Right.
shouldn't have to wait a lifetime to do that. So all I'm telling you is no, you are not obligated to be married. That is not an obligation in life. If you want to stay single for the rest of your life and procreate by yourself, be my guest. You a strong bitch if that's what you want to do. That ain't my forte though. But I big ups to you, big homie, if that's what you want to do. But if you love somebody and they want to be with you and they want to marry you, don't be afraid to take that leap. You just have to be able to be willing to be with them even in the changes. Because I can't stress that enough. People change over time. So you have to want to be with them even through the changes. Okay?
Right.
So I'm done preaching. Now, if you want to watch me on, you want to come follow me on Instagram, you definitely can. I'm on Instagram at Psych Design TV too. I don't talk about nothing over there but wrestling. They won't let me talk about nothing over there but wrestling. Every time I try to do other stuff, they get mad and unfollow.
Right. No, Jasmine, I'm not married. I'm single as hell. Go ahead, Tiff. I'm sorry.
They unfollow when I talk about other stuff, so I had to come over here on AT2 stuff and take over his shit. When he do it,
Yeah.
I had to come through and take over. So you can follow me there, and I have my makeup stuff. That's the same thing. It's just like this on TV. and I have my YouTube with my makeup. I'm gonna be posting more stuff on there. I had to try to find somewhere to do it at, child. I got a full house over here, and we ain't got no space to move. You can't record nowhere. If I'm recording in the living room, everybody in your camera trying to figure out what you doing, why you talking like that.
You got your brother coming in the room and everything.
I can't live. I can't. They won't let me live. So if you find me on Instagram, I'll be there. And then whenever AT2 Levy come back and take over again, I'll be back. It'd probably be tomorrow.
Right. And Tiff, you're always welcome. And by the way, like I said before, she's going to be a part of the birthday show. So you'll see her again eventually. And I want to say thank you guys for checking out the show. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm going to hit y'all with the promo and then we out. Deuces, y'all.
Bye.
You're welcome to AT2's Dirty 2 live birthday celebration on December 18th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you guys are there. Remember, the theme is grown and sexy, or you can just come naked. We're going to have special guests. It's going to be a countdown show. We're going to count down our favorite moments from the show. Also, don't forget, bring a drink, bring your weed, whatever you want to. We're going to have a good time. We're going to play Never Have I Ever. It's going to be so much fun. Thank you guys for joining me for my birthday, December 18th. Be there.